Arthur, can you please just
I'm not gonna keep any of this in. Don't
we're
worry. Why do you,
eradicating all of this.
Oh
This is
yeah, don't trust
horrible.
that
why do you think I would? No, why would I do? Why would I
I'm
do
just
because you've done it
reminding you. This
before.
this sounds terrible.
this is gross. This isn't good content.
Because your record precedes you because of your previous actions. That's why we don't trust you.
I mean, I think it's more so you don't trust me. I think the other two believe
Well,
that
they'll learn in due time.
No, see that's why I have the power now to cap cut. I got the password to the cap cut.
Oh my lord!
And I can do my own
Hey,
pseudo
look,
chop
man.
chops.
If anyone else wants to edit, the door is always open now. The studio bay door is always open. Peyton, Jerry, feel free to hop in.
Just use every single soundbite we have.
It's a miracle, man. I can spell my name right entering into the StreamYard, man. You think I know anything about editing? Get the hell out of here.
I didn't either until this show started, and then we were off and running.
You do a great job at it, and I think you should keep that streak going.
I knew that's where that was going. I knew that's exactly where that was going. You're doing great, so.
Y'all watch that one race? Oh, shit. Mute.
Nah, stay on mute. Let it go.
You might as well let it fly now. I get interrupted 16 times a day, and Art yells at me for not starting the show. So fuck it. Yes, we watched the F1 race. It's a damn shame that in the year of our Lord 2024 that we don't have split screen television. I shouldn't have to subscribe to YouTube TV to watch the 4 things I want to watch on my television at the exact same time. If I had split screen, what was that, in 2000 on my big screen television, I should have it now. I shouldn't have to watch something on my phone and watch something on my TV and watch something on my iPad just so I can get all of my views and all the things that during all the commercials.
Use your laptop.
Okay, Grandpa.
Use these nuts, Bonte. I'm angry.
Congratulations. You played yourself. You be all right.
2024, I have to resort to ignorance. If I wanted to watch it off my laptop, I just would have pulled my laptop out, dum-dum.
Then pull it out. It's literally.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
Take the laptop.
Easy, brother. Calm it down, please. It's not that kind of show.
Granddad.
It's not that kind of show, my friend.
Oh, my God. All right.
Take that to Twitter after dark.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We done.
Can we end the show now?
Yeah, but more on the F1 race in a bit. I'm going to bring it up because they might win another light super. Anywho, back to regular schedule programming. Welcome to another episode of Victory Lane Vibes. We are your hostesses with the mostesses. If you've gotten this far, you've learned that it's Art, Peyton, and Bonte, and myself as your hostesses with the mostesses. And now we're going to recap Miami. First things first. I guess we'll talk about the good things of the truck race before we talk about the bad stuff that happened. Some hospitalizations and, some smoke inhalations. So when was that race? It was Saturday morning. I feel like everything's in the morning now. It was Saturday morning. Saturday morning. Yeah. Miami, in the middle of the doggone day. The trucks raced. I almost said Grant Finger's name by the other name he's affectionately known by, and we would have been immediately canceled. I didn't say it though. Grant Finger wins again.
I beg your pardon.
He wins again.
I beg your pardon.
At Miami. Oh goodness gracious. Raja finished 8th. The pseudo cosplay Hendrick.com truck was in this race too. Where did he finish? I'm looking for that number.
Probably 30s.
91. It was the 91.
It was the 91. Oh, there he is. Corday finished 16th in the cosplay Hendrick cars.com Silverado. Yeah. I didn't like the truck race. Can I say that? I didn't like it. I feel like it was it didn't cook like last year's did. I feel like last year's had a lot of drama. I mean, this race had drama too, but it wasn't as exciting as I wanted it to be. And I feel like that's why I don't remember anything from it, because Enfinger just ran away when he got out front. He just like zoomed.
Zoom.
Peyton, your thoughts on the truck race? I'll let you go first.
overall, the truck race is better than what you're telling the people here, Jared. And I think it's very disingenuous for you to make up that it wasn't a good race. No, it was fine. It was legit.
What did he say? Fuck me for?
Throwing shots at you, buddy.
So where it was missing was it nearly played out the same way in terms of the split strategy call where you had a driver stay out and try and make that work versus another truck chasing you down. It just seemed like the amount of time you gained on those fresher tires just didn't pay off. Good job by Enfinger for making that tank of fuel last, because there were several around him. Just, a lot of folks ran out of fuel, which netted Raja a few extra positions, but actually it did not help him in terms of the playoff cutoff line. I was watching it very closely. I believe when he was in 11th place, he was seeing 20 points behind the cutoff line. I think now with a better finish, he sits 22. So looks like that allowed some other people he was racing to move ahead. Think he's in a must-win scenario. My overriding thoughts on this race: one, Fox News deserves as much crap as they get for their TV direction. The first stage of that race was remarkably bad, where they would just, you could tell the camera didn't know, oh, wait, am I on? Am I supposed to be, am I the one showing this? And it would have to jump halfway across the track. It was just an absolute mess. So, yeah, I don't appreciate Fox. You're bad at your job. Please improve. You've got an off season to think about it here. I know you all don't send a crew out there. You just send one of the Bodines out there to talk to some people, just to go talk to some people. I don't know why one of the Bodines is just funny to me. You send a Bodine out there to talk to the people. I get it. It's not a high producing outfit. You can tell no one cares about this stuff anyway, because the Truck Series practice qualifying untelevised. The Xfinity Series on the CW untelevised for their practice qualifying, and even the Cup Series got shipped off to the NBC Sports Plus app minus 2,000, wherever they put it on instead of Peacock. So clearly, all these companies have let NASCAR know where they stand once the football starts. So, but still, please improve your TV direction. Can I go and talk about the big controversy from the race, or are we saving that for its own thing?
We're gonna save that for after the synopsis of the trucks.
Beautiful. Well, I'm done talking.
I'll go quick. I agree with Jared. I agree with Jared. This race stinks. Dog water. But not too much. Happy for Grant Enfinger. This is redemption for last year at Phoenix, so that's my guy. And Raja, top 10. Happy for my boy in another top 10. Points at the cut line. Why you look like that, Peyton? Anyways, so yeah, trucks.
All right.
Oof, I'd follow that up. I didn't.
Shut up.
I wasn't impressed by the race either. I watched it wire to wire live, and then right before we started the show, I went back and watched the highlights. I didn't have anything to write down, honestly. Like, I'm not trying to be a hater. I have nothing memorable of it other than the wreck and Grant winning. So, shout out to him. One, he's made the Martinsville race much more interesting now. I also know that I need to pray for Ty Majeski's downfall and for Raj's ascent to make that final spot. I think he's 22 points out of the last spot at this point. So that's really the only takeaway I have. Yeah, I just wasn't. I'm not even underwhelmed. I'm just whelmed. I'm just like, okay, that was a race. I don't have anything good, bad, different to say. And I hate that because my job is to come here and talk about it, but I have nothing of note, of interest, of excitement to say. Maybe it's Grant's fault. Maybe he shouldn't have stunk up the show. He really didn't though. But yeah.
It just wasn't memorable. And I hate that the biggest thing coming out of the race. Well, hold on before we get there. Just to recap the standings for the offs. Grant and Finger once again cements himself into the round of 4. Shout out NASCAR Chasm on Twitter for that. He made a lot of people mad when he made that meme. Corey Hyman's in second. Christian Eckes is in third. Ty Majeski's 22 to the cut. Raja's minus 22. Taylor Gray minus 24. Tyler Ingram needs a miracle, and so does Nick Sanchez. There can only be one winner next week. Somebody can probably point in, but Ty Majeski needs to go on ahead and blow a motor in qualifying, and then that'd be the end of his day. Which moves us to the most memorable moment of the Truck Series race was Connor Jones losing his head a la Max Verstappen and putting Matt Mills nose first into the wall, retiring Matt Mills' truck after it catches fire, and also sending him to the hospital for 2 days for observation. Do you believe that he's going to miss the rest of the 2024 season due to his transgressions Saturday? Arthur, start us off.
It's interesting. I almost wonder if the outcome is dictating the outrage for this, because I feel like I've seen this same incident 20 times this year, where a guy just gets mad, especially in the lower 2 series, even more so, and he just sends him. Now, on the other one hand, like, is it acceptable? Probably not. Like, you don't want guys just dumping people without making any attempt to try and erase cleanly. I get, you get loose or you have to move a guy, but I mean, that's as blatant as it gets. But I wonder if he, had just popped out the car and walked off, would there still be this level of public outrage? I'm not saying it's not warranted. I'm not saying I'm against it even. I just find it a bit odd how upset everyone is. One, obviously you don't want to see anyone get hurt. You don't want to see anyone go into the hospital, right? Like, smoke in your lungs is very serious. So I'm glad to hear he got released. I think it was earlier today. He was on his way back home to North Carolina. Matt was. So that's a great sign. I guess if you're going to do this much, then you probably have to suspend him or race. But on the same, well, I was going to say, I'm thinking through this now. He was parked for 2 laps. Is it common for someone to get parked and still get suspended? Has that happened often? Because I feel like a lot of times I can remember, and I could be wrong, but it's usually one or the other. So I don't know. But I feel like, does it deserve suspension? To me, it's not that egregious if I just look at the incident itself, but I would not at all fight back or push back. Like, you did earn it. And I think one thing that made it worse is always the confession on the radio afterwards, right? You're screaming your head off, telling how, you're sick of it. You're not going to take it anymore, this, that, and the third. Like, that's what really does it in, I think. And the fact that it was caught on the broadcast as well, I think that might be another reason why there was such a public outcry for it. So, I mean, does he deserve it? I guess. Like, by the letter of the law, sure. It's one of those things where it's like, yes, the way the rule is written, I can agree with this, but in the world in shades of gray that we live in, probably not.
Monte.
What the fuck are we doing at this point? That I'm sorry. That was just
storm is what we're doing, apparently.
Just straight up the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Like, this is like it was that bad. Like, he got sent to like Matt Mills. My bad. It's that bad. Matt Mills went to the hospital because of this. At some point, you got to suspend this guy at least like for manner of this season, and at least half of next year. I'm sorry, but that was a joke. Like I told, like, I don't care if you any driver. I don't care if your favorite driver did. I don't care. I'm sorry. What I'm trying to say is, I don't care who. Even if your favorite driver didn't, that's still no. Either way, you still get suspended. At the end of the day, it should not happen at all. And this is really stupid. What a joke.
Bring us home, Peyton. What you think?
Art's 110% right on this. They are playing the result here. So what NASCAR did was correct. And I appreciate that they are putting it to these drivers at this early developmental stage and saying that sort of mess won't fly. You got to set these examples and enforce a driving standard. You can't have the guy blowing up on the radio. Connor Jones has a history of being stupid. Apparently tracks back to the Cars Tour, other races. Apparently in this race as well, he was just being a menace and a maniac out there. So NASCAR made the right move. That said, the hit that he put on Mills was nothing egregious. It wasn't like a right rear hook. It wasn't. We've seen much more hellacious shots that, mind you, in the Cup Series will get you a suspension. This wasn't that. This was just sort of a strange, somewhat unforeseen, but likely outcome of a car crash, which is inhaling fumes and then a extended, trip to the hospital. Obviously, that's terrible. I don't think NASCAR is or has plans to suspend him further. Maybe just from if they want to go and set a new path, then yeah, I would not be against it. But I would also say that this hit was not anything that shocked us to our core, except for the outcome was a lot worse than we typically see. So I would sort of be surprised that off of something that's not a right rear hook, that he gets further suspended. I'm glad NASCAR does it. I wish they would apply the same sort of thought process when it comes to the Cup Series. Like I said, I don't see why for Austin Dillon it took 2 days of deep thought and prayer to make the right call. I understand the stakes are much higher in the Cup Series given the amount of money, the playoff implications and everything, but you avoid that sort of stuff by chopping it down. You chop that weed down before it starts to sprout. So I'm great on NASCAR for benching him or putting him away for 2 laps. Potentially they might need to look at something stiffer for that. Like, I think they should have probably just kicked him out of the race, called it a day. But yeah, I'm glad they acted swiftly. Same thing they did with Lane Riggs. You got to act quickly. It seems like Lane Riggs has turned a corner. I don't know if getting parked for 2 laps has actually helped Lane Riggs turn a corner, but yeah, good on NASCAR. But everyone calling for his head, I think, is playing the outcome more than the actual act.
I like these varying takes. I like when you guys aren't so agreeable. That makes my life easy. Appreciate your insights. We'll see tomorrow if he gets any further punishment. Like Art mentioned, he did serve a 2-lap penalty in race, and did end up doing the cat daddy at the NASCAR Hall after the race. So we'll see what happens. And then later that afternoon, your worst person ever wins the Xfinity race. I guess we got to talk about it. He won stage 1. He won stage 2. He wins the race. He scored 60 points. He's racing for a championship. This is the worst thing ever. Absolutely
really
terrible.
Won all 3 stages?
He swept. I just confirmed with my own 2 eyes. He scored 60 points on Saturday. You know him, you love him. Austin Hill punches his ticket into the championship.
The people can't see it, but I just took off my glasses and I'm rubbing my eyes in annoyance.
Oh, this is the worst. This is the worst thing ever. Can I
say F this race?
No, you already said that 5 minutes ago. That's not going to be your entire take the whole show.
No, I go first.
How'd you know I wasn't talking?
You done. Anyways. Austin Hill. That's all I got to say. Anyways, you go ahead now.
Generous.
I'm glad he muted himself because I was about to press another button. Peyton, talk about this Xfinity race.
I had to check my own computer because I just heard everything go silent. I didn't realize that you just body slammed Bonte. Masterful work. So, man, it's tough to like Austin Hill. He races for the most annoying team owner. Guys, team owner's proven to be really annoying. He just goes and bullies people. He hates to be driven hard, and then he drives people really hard. And yeah, but I'll say this: he's a prick. No, I'll also say this: He drove a great race. Like, that was a quality race. For me, the peak or pinnacle of NASCAR racing, or just any racing in general, is the chase down with limited laps to go. Just that whole question of, can they get there in time? And the way he was able to catch up to the leader and then build up a gap towards the end. Just a masterful drive. And what's odd, too, was he showed some emotion, which typically someone like him doesn't show emotion. If you ever read of Mice and Men, typically guys like him don't show emotion. It's just sort of just always on kill. And yeah, it was odd to see that side of him. It almost kind of humanized him a bit. And, it'd be interesting to see what he can do in the final round. I don't know his track record at Phoenix. I know he's quite good at Martinsville, so obviously that doesn't matter. But it will be interesting how he does at Phoenix. Something that did stand out to me, you want to talk about guys who are racing for a championship. Going into this week in the Cup Series, a lot of people mentioned that, or heard on another podcast, that Joey Logano is going to be a low-key character. Essentially, don't put yourself in any situation to make any enemies. Just, hey, hang out, turn some laps. Very insightful, and Joey Logano went ahead and executed that in the Cup race. You know who didn't get that memo in the Xfinity race? AJ Allmendinger. Dude was a menace. He absolutely closed the door and what's the past tense version of slide job? Whatever it is, that's what he did a lot for positions at the end. Like, I understand he felt like he had a fast car. He was fast all weekend in both series, but just seems awful aggressive out of him and maybe short-sighted. So it'll be interesting to see if anyone's going to just dispatch him pretty quickly in Phoenix, or any potential cars maybe who need to get out of his way might give him a bit of extra trouble. But that was just something just random that stuck out that, yeah, I think it'll be interesting to watch. I think he may have ruffled a few feathers. So
I believe it's pronounced slid jobbed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That NC State education pays for itself, man.
I do. Times like this, right? It comes in handy. Yeah. This race was better than the truck race, but it was also, for me, a bit underwhelming as well. I think I was a victim of my own expectations. And it's not just because Austin Hill won and apparently swept the stage. I knew he won stage 1, but maybe I just blacked out in stage 2 and just came back in stage 3. I don't know. But I was excited to see him and AJ battle late. Jesse Love had a good run, which is great for him. I feel like he hasn't had many good runs in a while, and so I think he came in with the top 10. I'm just really more interested in the Martinsville race, right? I think it's interesting how you've got Cole Custer now at the cut line, right, where he's been so fantastic all season long. Allgaier. Also not clinched in. Those have to be the favorites, you would think. I feel like 28 points for Chandler Smith being the closest one. Everyone below the bubble has to win, right? So I just wonder what kind of desperation moves we'll see. I think that shapes it up for a really interesting race. That's what gets me excited thinking about it. But yeah, it was weird because he was making great time early in the race, running the bottom, the 21, and as I'm sure everyone who watched saw, most of the speed was made up around the top for a lot of the race. And so I thought, maybe because he was on fresh tires, he was able to save his tires a little bit, and maybe that's why he was fast late in the run. But he just made it work. And, guys like Cole, like Allmendinger, like those are not slouches when it comes to ripping the boards, as they say. And he just found a way to get it done. So, as much crap as I give Austin Hill, as much as I dislike him, I will not take away this win because this was not a fluke. This was kind of the opposite of a fluke, right? You kind of went out there and did everything you were supposed to do on a race day. So it's a great win for them. I hope he has no success at Phoenix. I hope he, shreds all 4 tires on the outlap and has to get parked. But, we move. It was fine. It's interesting. It seems like we have this trend this year with the 3 series where we can't have 3 good races. It's always one amazing race and the other 2 are kind of snoozers. And all summer and all spring, I feel like it was for the most part, the Xfinity race was amazing. But now, this weekend, right, Cup was by far amazing. And the other two, for me at least, were kind of boring. So I just kind of noticed that trend. Hopefully, next week we peak as a series and we get 3 bangers since there's so much on the line. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm putting all my chips on.
And with that,
let me just ask this question real quick. Pivot, since y'all are talking in the chat, distracted me. So there's a discussion going on about are you team ripping the boards or team ripping the fence?
What?
It's in the chat. Oh, you weren't looking. Peyton asks, are you team ripping the boards or team ripping the fence? It's the terminology for riding the top line.
Well, we have safer barriers now, and I highly doubt that they've ever raced on a racetrack with wood, so we're ripping the fence.
Okay, I didn't realize you took every single word. I didn't realize you were such a
so
literal people in Virginia.
Yes. Wait, so wouldn't both be unacceptable? Wouldn't be ripping the barriers?
Well, right. No, because no,
they're not against the fence.
Yeah, so you want to get all special.
There's still catch fences, assholes.
But they're not running against it. That's the thing. Since you want to be literal,
right there. It's right there. Pull up every track. What's right outside the cement? The catch fence, isn't it? Ain't it? It's right there.
You're touching it or you're not, though.
No, they're not running against the catch fence. There's a retaining wall.
It's been the week this week. That's what I'm about to touch.
I like ripping. I like them both. I think ripping the fence sounds cooler, but I think ripping the boards feels more sporty.
Ripping the board sounds like the Atlantic City boardwalk. We're not doing that.
Yeah,
ripping the boards to me makes me think of hockey.
Yeah,
yeah, that's a hockey reference.
Yeah, like I kept getting very somewhat annoyed with Lee Diffie when he was like ripping the boards, and I was like, "It's a fence, buddy. We got fences down here." But
he said, "What, Peyton?"
I can't do a Lee Diffie accent.
Yeah. How do you say it?
We're good.
What you say? We're gonna have a new segment every week. He comes on and he has to quote one line of Lee Diffie commentary. Every week, new segment. Oh man, you lucky. We're about to go in the off season. Write that down, Jared.
You know what's really funny? So like Lee Diffie has commentated on a lot of my experience of watching motorsports. So like back in the NBC Sports days, he did F1 and didn't like him then. Didn't really like him in IndyCar. For some reason, I've really, really grown to like him doing this. I don't know why. I don't know why. I think it's just funny to hear him just say, Bubba Wallace and just all these names, and then you just have the juxtaposition of like him and Burton in the booth, just like they're just, you can't have a much more of a contrast in accent. So summarizing, it just works better for him to be in the NASCAR booth. So I like him a lot more than I ever have.
All right, so
why I like Lee
Diffie?
Diffie?
Please hang on. Everyone listening, please tweet us Lee Diffie clips or just the text, and we'll get Peyton to say them on air. That'll be a new segment. It's so talented, Peyton. I appreciate it. Brilliant strikes. You have to listen to it, and you did. I appreciate you. Nothing to say. Is he frozen? Oh,
no, he's not. He's waiting for the next cue in because it's going to be a good one.
I'm sorry, Peyton.
The reason why I like Lee Diffie is because of the last 8 laps of the Cup race yesterday. This man had me out of my seat. I was cheering at the television. Obviously, the last 9 laps cooked, but Lee Diffie and his coming to the flag calls are just chef's kiss. In case you missed the greatest NASCAR Cup Series race of the year yesterday, shame on you. To hell with the finish we had at Atlanta. To hell with the cricket line finish we had at Kansas. This by far was the best race of the entire season because the cars made passes. They broke a record for lead changes yesterday because the car made passes. They went for broke, and it was fantastic. It was fantastic, start to finish. It was amazing. I think another reason why I know we were moving on the cup, but I feel like the other races felt humdrum to me, as I don't think the stages were long enough for them to do anything. I definitely that was the determining factor in the truck race, is why I thought it was trash. And it kind of sort of did the same thing with Xfinity, which is why we need to run longer races. But yeah, the Homestead race was phenomenal. Tyler Reddick wins. Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin and his cohorts, Chris Polk, all them folk, airspeed, are racing for a championship. There's a Toyota racing for a championship that's not Christopher Bell. Glory, hallelujah. Best race of the year. Let's talk about it. Bonte, what are your thoughts on the Cup race?
The greatest of all, one of the greatest races of all time, like you said. Outstanding greatness. Love this track. Next gen this race. Do not miss, especially the last lap, especially the last lap, like the last couple laps. Danny, Ryan, Tyler, all contending for the win. It's crazy how they ate. It's crazy how Tyler had like six lap old tires, and Denny and Ryan drew past him, but he didn't give up. He was like literally didn't give up. Kept his pace too, and that last lap pass was phenomenal between him and Ryan Blaney. That was outstanding. And then to see Michael Jordan beat extremely excited. Bubba coming to congratulate him too. Just fantastic just fantastic that Tyler is going to race for a championship. Who would have thought Tyler literally flipped over last week, and now yesterday he won. That's some good stuff. But overall, fantastic race. Race of the year, hands down.
Peyton?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of ink spilled about this race, and rightfully so. I mean, so many aspects of this race just worked, like you pointed out, Jared. I mean, the stage length allowed the race to play out naturally. The strategy calls, you got a chance in each stage to see teams trying out different things, and that made for intrigue. You saw tires matter, which is what we like to see. We like to see the tires play a factor where it's not something where you can just run forever on a set and then put on a fresh set and you don't really gain a whole lot out of it. Also, the passing, it was a situation where it was the right amount of difficulty. Obviously, we would love it for it to be easy, but if it was super easy, you'd get huge gaps between the cars. So you saw it where it was difficult to pass, but if you had a faster car or you could work a line, you could sort of build up to it, and then shoot your shot. And then if you need be, there were ways you could approach it. You could essentially dive down low and then slide up. You could go that route, or you could simply try to hang right nearby them, maybe half a lane down, and then try to get a bit of extra momentum off the corner and then dive down. There was a lot of different strategies there. You had a finish that was, mind you, that sort of late race restart, but it was not a green-white checker. Drivers gave each other room. So just overall, I mean, yeah, I mean, and also you've got the stakes of it. And like Bonte was mentioning, this was a situation where a week ago, dude was flipping in the infield. And to come back and win, and when he was at a tire disadvantage, fantastic. Another thing I do want to point out from it, Kyle Larson, he is, for someone, and I don't know who this person might be, but if someone publicly hates Kyle Larson but secretly enjoys watching Kyle Larson, he just delivers. Like, for folks who publicly hate him but privately love him, I mean, you can sit there and mock him, like, say, what an idiot, because he absolutely just makes, I wouldn't even call this move that he made late in the race a boneheaded move. It was a gap that he thought he could shoot. He just lost handle with the car. And this happens a lot. So it's very easy to mock him. But also, too, you saw the guy run through the field. It's a shame that he comes with so much baggage, because he could really be he's got the talent level to be the absolute marketing face of the sport. But for whatever reason. I mean, mind you, the whole 2020 aspect, but outside of that, he just doesn't seem to have it to make him sort of the face of the sport. But man, guy is entertaining. So
Yeah,
Right.
you know, this race was really, 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 really good. I mean, I would love, love, love to sit here and give you like some BS reason to nitpick it, act like it wasn't fantastic, but I don't have it. Like, it was such a great race. It will more than likely go down as the best race of the season, based off of what we've seen historically at Martinsville and Phoenix in this car. Like, I don't see them coming close to this type of race. So, best race of the year for me. I think the only race that comes close from the Cup side was Bristol, and that came with all of the tire shenanigans. It wasn't really a air quotes pure racing experience, I would say. It was entertaining and it was chaotic, but it was messy. As much as I love mess, as I said on our Twitter live, I still want a really good racing product, and they absolutely delivered. My God. I'm just so impressed with this car. This track is really good, man. They should think about, crowning a champion here one day. Like, it's that good. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if that pass was for the championship? Has anyone talked about that? Can you imagine if those three were battling for a title? Oh my gosh, man. Like, and I mean, that was a 10 out of 10 moment, but like, my God, can you imagine that? Yeah, this race had everything. I mean, this is one of the few times where I, as a fan, will be like, if you don't like that kind of racing, don't watch, because this is the best you're gonna get. Like 2024 NASCAR, this is the best you're gonna get. It will not get better than this. To all the points people mentioned, there's tire strategy, there's fuel strategy, there's a little bit of calamity, right? There was some light too bright moments, there was late cautions, but there wasn't, ticky-tack flags. There wasn't late race shenanigans from race control. It wasn't dirty racing. It was just really, really talented drivers going after it. And I mean, I'm sitting there. I feel like I didn't breathe for like the last 10 laps because I was just so hooked. For Tyler, he continues to have these clutch streaks, right? He had the performance at Darlington, if you remember, when he was sick. Right, sick out of both ends, we heard on the radio. That was a really gutty performance, to no pun intended, to get the regular season title. Then you go to his performance at the Roval and had to drive his ass off to barely squeak in. And then you have this one, right? Because if you truth serum the people in 2311, they tell you there's really no chance of Tyler winning at Martinsville. Like, that's not a place he excels at. Can he run well there? Sure. I think he's capable of it, but he right now just doesn't have that place figured out like a lot of other guys. So he had to have this. And I mean, you want to talk about a clutch moment, man. Like, he just continues to come up big when he needs it most and survive. And at the same time, as thrilled as I am for him, I just imagine how gutted it is if you're a Blaney fan or if you're a Denny fan, right? Like, that's just the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. It's so hard to imagine what that feels like in the car. But yeah, it was just a fantastic race. I can't say enough good things about it. If you're listening to this and you haven't had a chance to watch the entire race, I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. Please go watch it. Like, it will be on NASCAR Classics, I'm sure, in a couple of years. Like, it's that level of quality. I think the only other race in general that kind of comes close in terms of quality racing this year for me was probably the Indy Xfinity race with that finish they had. That to me was the best race of the Xfinity season for me. Like, that to me was the only thing in the same stratosphere as this. Like, I know we talk about Kansas and, they had some great finishes. Atlanta had great finishes, but this was more than just a great finish. This was a culmination of quality racing. The whole way through, you had to fight and scratch and claw to get back to the top. And you could, like Jarrett said, like, you could actually make passes. So I can't say enough. This is the types of, This is the equivalent. I said about I've used like the spousal comparisons a lot on the show. This is the one where you're like, damn, all right, maybe they can change, right? They're like, maybe I'll stick this out. Like maybe they can act together. They might have got that job. They might have got that car that I told them they needed to. They might have opened up that account and paid off that credit card. Like maybe they aren't such a bum. And then you're like, all right, we'll see how long it lasts, right? Like, but yeah, it was so great. I can't say enough good things about it. I love this race. I wish I could watch 36 of these. I'd be right there tuned in.
Yeah, it's disrespectful to call this the greatest playoff race ever. This is the greatest race of the season. I wouldn't say ever, but this was a really good race. This proves time and time again the fans are right. The race the season needs to end on 1.5 miles. The season needs to end in Homestead, Miami Speedway. Please, patrons of Homestead, Miami, Dade County, do what you have to do to bring the championship race to you in 2026. Phoenix is a cheap ripoff of Richmond Raceway. I've said this multiple times. The championship race needs to be back at Homestead. And listening back to our live broadcast from last week, I called it, Art called it, Carl called it. We said that Tyler's going to win this race, and everybody's just thinking like, oh, well, where'd he come from? Y'all fail to realize he won 2 Xfinity championships back to back with 2 different teams at this very racetrack. I think the boy needs to. I think he knows how to get around, down in Miami in the 305. So, to Art's point, amazing race. I don't think he would have been able to get it done in Martinsville. He did what he had to do. The last 2 laps, I've watched it as many times as I watched the Hail Mary that Commanders caught last night. Like that sequence of events to see Denny pass Ryan passed Denny, Tyler's like, bye, and just drives out of both of their lives. Like it's insane. Like it's injected into my veins. It's crack. It's literal crack. But yeah, greatest race of the season. And to continue that, we move to 2311 corner. So when Larson tried to emulate Bubba's move going through ride to get past Blaney and failed, right before then Tyler had to pit with 15 to go, and the TV cameras were obviously in Tyler's pit box, but they took the angle where they saw Mike leaning over watching the pit stop, and you could just see like his facial expression. He was like, oh man, we tried and we failed. I'm like, nuts. We tried and we failed. I was like, what do we do? He tried for the caution. He didn't get it. Thanks, Larson. Another weekend where he drives over his head. And, when the race restarted, I was like, oh no. The group chat was like, oh, he lost it. He's falling back. I was like, no, he got it. The tires he got to shake the tires off. He's going to figure it out. He got it. Don't worry. And, he literally drove out of their lives. Like, it's the craziest pass I've ever seen in this next gen car. Like, it was nuts. Like, it was nuts. It's nuts. And we talked about it last night on Twitter, but 2311 is racing for a championship in the midst of a lawsuit suing the sanctioning body. Do you imagine the crow? Well, Steve Phelps said that he'll hand over the trophy. It doesn't matter. But can you imagine being a France and you have to stand in front of these people in Nashville and you have to congratulate them in public forum about not only beating you in your sport that you own and love, but potentially losing a court case to them as well? Man, Michael Jordan is racing for a championship. Now, on the caveat of that, boo Booty Barker, shame on you, adjust the car, stop leaving Bubba out there and having it drive too tight. Bubba also could have had an amazing day. Lights too bright for y'all. The car got away from you. Bubba should have been able to finish top 5 because he definitely had the speed the first half of the race. Boo boo, shame, shame, tomato, tomato. Okay, Bonte, now you can speak.
What you said.
It's your turn.
What you said.
Oh, well, that's easy.
That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just over this.
All right, there. I'll let you go.
I think that this race was example 7,862 of what we've been saying about this team. Like I said, on the one hand, elated for Tyler. Like, I could not be happier. Like, if he won it all, like, I would be thrilled. I really want to see him close out at this point, not just for him, but for the team as well. And I just think as this season has gone, I don't know if I've had any driver stock rise more than Tyler's maybe. Like, we all knew he was really good, right? Like, I think there was no doubt that he was a top 10 driver, but I think this season is just kind of shown with like the level of clutch performances that he's had. He's in that elite tier to me. Like, he's up there in the top 3 to 5 guys in the garage, I think. I don't think that's a stretch to say at this point. On the flip side, 23 started off great. And then they weren't, right? Got one pit crew did a great job. Shout out to y'all, because I feel like we don't give you guys enough praise. They were +4, +1, +2 on multiple, on several stops. So they did their job, and then we're even in some other ones, which is all you can really ask for. That side of the team is always solid as ever. It was great seeing him get to the lead a couple laps. That was fun. But I knew it was short-lived because this team can't keep up with the track on the box. And I don't know, man. I don't have anything new because they don't do anything new, right? They're great for a little while, and they come off the track fast. They qualified well. It's all great. But then when it comes time to make adjustments, they just don't do it. And I don't know. I don't have any script or like talk tracks to walk us through it. That's not something that a consistent listener hasn't heard me say at this point. I just feel like for me, and I may have said this before off air or on air, but I'm very curious to see how this offseason goes for the 23. I know the season's not over yet, but I will be able to tell a whole lot about how the brain trust at 2311 thinks about Bubba Wallace based on how this offseason goes. Because if they roll into Daytona in those big old haulers and got the same cast of characters on top of the box, that tells me that they're using that man for a check. And they just are letting him do whatever he can. And there's no real investment in making sure that that team has the best opportunity to win, because it's 80 some odd race streak now or something, 60, it's maybe 65 some odd race streak over 2 years without a win. Some great runs, and I'm proud of Bubba as well. Like, he's gotten better. We've talked about it, career best, top 5, top 10s. Ain't got no speed at the end, man. Ain't got no horsepower at the end. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's just, it is what it is. This is what we got for at least 2 more races. But if they in the offseason make some changes, then that tells me that they're serious about both cars, being a threat week in and week out. But I'm telling you, if y'all listen, pay close attention. Have your Google Alert set, because if they roll out the same people, that tells you all you need to know. Sometimes the way your job treats you tells you all you need to know. And I think that would be very telling of an offseason if they just, brought the band back together as it is.
Peyton, your thoughts?
Got bad news for you, Art.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're about to realize what some folks already kind of feel like know about his role in the team. So yeah, this segment was going to be tough because I think I've said before, I'm a Bubba Wallace fan first, and by association, I guess that makes me a 2311 fan. I appreciate Tyler Reddick. He has been a great teammate. It seems like he's got a great friendship with Bubba, and they seem to get along really well. And he's been a great supporter and seem to have had Bubba's back before they're even teammates. So happy for Tyler and everything. But secretly, I'm not. Like, this race is bittersweet. It was a fantastic race, and there's still a tinge of just, why did it have to be Tyler? So I come from F1, like watching F1. Even though I started back in the 90s watching NASCAR, a lot of my mindset still goes back to F1. And the first rule in F1 is the first person you have to beat is your teammate. Why? They are in equal equipment. And it really, 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 really stings that you've got essentially had a 23-11 sandwich of the decent cars yesterday. You had the winner and you had 20th, and everyone's sandwiched between were just the other cars that were sort of there. And you got a car that's going to be fighting for a championship, and you got another that's not even in the playoffs. And that really is frustrating because I think Bubba is a talented driver. I don't think he is at the same driver level as Tyler Reddick. I mean, Tyler Reddick is a multi-time champion in the Xfinity Series. I mean, guys have certain talent limitations, but it's just frustrating to know that they are in equal equipment. I think I mentioned before, Billy Scott was not necessarily some superstar crew chief that they, flew in or something like that. This isn't like they went and got Rodney Childers. Billy Scott was, fine. He's got a good track record and everything. So it just makes it sort of bittersweet to know that, man, and you'd feel better if Bubba had run 5th or, in the top 10, like, hey, but to just sort of have him just sort of languishing and that car just get worse and worse and dirty air. And you don't know whether it's the chicken or the egg, whether it's the adjustments he's not getting or the driver isn't providing the right communication on the adjustments. You'd love for things to change, but I am pessimistic on it changing in terms of next year, because I think if you're the team, you can say, well, hey, if you are a, let's say, B tier driver, we are going to provide you a B tier support staff. Now, is that entirely fair? Are there examples of, a driver of this tier level getting A tier, or is Bubba a tier driver who just needs a crew chief to sort of match? I don't know. Like these sort of races like yesterday make me just sit there and just mentally just go through it and just like, well, man, is this really what the performance gap is? So, anywho, putting all that aside, for 23-11, fantastic. I mean, this team is 4 years into this project, and for them to be able to put a car into the championship hunt, I don't know about his track record at Phoenix. I don't believe it's one of his strongest. He's not really a short track specialist, Tyler Reddick, but still, you're in the fight, you're in the hunt. You don't know who may turn up and who actually might, be there. So his chance is as good as any. I mean, I still think going into it, I'm sort of looking at the 22, having all those weeks to prepare and having past success at that track. But a huge accomplishment for the team, and I appreciate that, after the race, Michael Jordan embraced Bubba and said, hey, you're next. So, I mean, clearly, it's a huge team effort, and yeah, I can't imagine just how awesome this has to be for everyone at the team and how awesome it is for everyone on the planet Earth except me.
Yeah, I just want to say 2 things off what you said, Peyton. The one thing, he does have Tyler. I think he's got a runner-up finish at Phoenix. I think he's got maybe a 3rd as well. If you remember that race, remember when Briscoe won at Phoenix? It was the spring race, whatever that was, 2 years ago. I think he finished runner-up then. So he's not necessarily, I don't think it's his forte. I agree with you. I feel really confident it's at like a 1.5 miles. But I'd say he has a chance. And yeah, what I didn't mention, I wish I had before, was, you look at the second to last round of pit stops before the caution, or maybe a round before that. But Denny, Tyler, and Bubba all pitted within a lap or 2 of each other. But they were on the same strategy, right? They went long, as they typically do, right? It's pretty normal for them. They all cycled back to like 14, 15, 16-ish, right? Around that spot. And this is, late stage 3, like you've had a bunch of stops to work on the car. Denny drove back up to the front. Tyler drove back up to the front. Bubba lost 5 spots and was in the late teens to 20th. So like they clearly didn't make the car better. And I'm, again, like I always qualify it every time. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like Bubba's the greatest driver in the history of NASCAR, but I refuse to believe that it's only driver error that's making these mistakes happen when it's clearly, it's clear when the car is on par with his competitors, he's able to run up in the front in the same race. So I just thought that was that to me was a bit of the frustrating point. It was like, they're clearly all doing the same thing, and two of the cars got better and drove away, and the third car didn't. So that's like I said, changes have to come if they are serious about wanting to help him get better. Because I'm sure next year he will be better than he was this year, and as a driver, and probably get more top fives and top tens than did this year. But I don't think he'd be in contention for wins, which is what you really need, right?
Yeah, it's just frustrating that you can see the leaps and bounds that Bubba is making as a driver, year-over-year improvement. Each year he's been with 2311, each season, statistically at least, he's getting better. He's becoming more well-rounded. He's almost a threat anywhere. He's has I wouldn't even call it a strength at super speedways, but he knows how to get around those, knows how to race really well in mile and a halves. He's getting better at road courses. I don't think he has any glaring weaknesses like he may have had 2 seasons ago. And you can't tell me that, it's Bubba's fault when Bubba made the move he did to get the lead. That car was in the front. There's no reason for a car with race capturing speed to take the lead, finishes 20th without piss poor adjustments. And I don't know whether that's coming from HQ or from the pit box or from somebody, but communication has to be better. I feel like that's the precipice of everything. You have to be able to communicate. And if you aren't understanding the disconnect, then it needs to be taken care of. Like the competition director, is that still Wheels? Is Wheels the comp director for 2011 still?
I think so.
So we have to have if they had a come to Jesus meeting last year about what needs to be done to make the chase, there has to be a come to Jesus meeting in the off season where how do we make both cars in the chase, both car race winning cars? If you are on level playing fields, I'm not going to have Bubba as a scapegoat. A clock can be wrong. I mean, a broken clock is right, twice a day or whatever the saying is. Something has to be done. Like Art said, if you're not just using the sponsorship money to keep the race shop afloat, cool. If that's the case, then no wonder Riley got signed. But you have to be competitive. You should want the entire organization to be of race winning caliber. And they can be if one team makes race winning adjustments to the vehicle. So yeah, I'm not as elated as I am for Tyler. It's just foolishness that it's another squandered 4 hours for Bubba. Like I'm up front, stage 1 and 2, and like, cool, bye, see ya. Like, and you can't blame the pit crew. The pit crew was on fire yesterday. Like it's not them. They used to be the scapegoat. It's not them. It's not Bubba. Why is the car always tight? Why is every week the car's tight? Why is it every week that the adjustment isn't enough to make the car drivable? Hell, instead of taking a pound of air pressure out, fuck it. Put the wrench in the back of the thing, loosen it all the way up, have him drifting, and then you'll be able to find a happy medium. I mean, shit, you know what too far is, take it too far. Have him wrecking loose. Loose is fast. That's always going to be the case, no matter what you drive in NASCAR, no matter what shape the race car is, how many cylinders the engine has, what propels it, the tires that are on it. Loose is fast. Damn it, loosen the car up. Do something. Shit.
It's every
we
time.
here we complain about the damn tires half the time this season, but you can't even do anything with the car to make it drive differently. Like the wrench hole's still there. Take the wedge out. It's still in there. It's still in the back windshield. It's ridiculous, man. But 2 more weeks, and then I get to scream into the void instead of voicing my opinions here on my podcast. It's frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
With that, let's move to a lighter note. Let's go to Lake Sue Bright.
I go first.
All right, Bonte, what you got?
Lake Sue Bright for trucks. Connor Jones, because you're an idiot. Xfinity, Austin Hill, and for Cup, I was gonna say Kyle Larson, but I say, you know what? I'm not gonna do this. I ain't gonna say Kyle Larson this week. I ain't even gonna say Corey Joe this week. Bubba's pit box.
I'm really worried about what you were getting ready to say. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was
No,
really...
I'm being serious because I'm really irritated with this shit at this point.
Mm.
You gave Bubba a fast car. That move he did early. That movie did in stage 1. Oh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. We need to see more. Like Bubba, I really thought Bubba was gonna have like a top 5, top 10, hell, or maybe compete for the win today. I don't know, but y'all get what I'm saying. It's frustrating, man. It really is.
So for Jer says that Connor is her lights too bright. She gave her vote. Arthur Peyton Arthur.
I got it. I'll take it. My light's too bright. Man, it pains me to say it because this is one of my guys. I ride with him, and I was really pulling for him this week. Goes to our reigning defending champion of the Cup Series, Mr. Ryan Blaney, YRB. And it's because you're in essentially a must-win scenario, right? You absolutely have to do whatever you can to get to the checkered flag first. And you made an amazing move, right? Getting by Denny, like great racing. Everyone drove clean between the three of them. But for him to go into turn 3 on the last lap and have, half a car length lead over Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick, if you were ranking drivers that would run the wall, like percentage, he'd be P1 in every category of attempts, consistency, successfully done laps. Like he would be P1 for all of them. And you have the top, and you peel down to the middle and just give it up. Just give it up. Oh my gosh, I was screaming at the TV. What are you doing? I actually almost thought he had a flat tire. That's how shocked I was at first. But he just gave it up. And, we talked on the Twitter Live, Sunday night after the race about it. And I just feel like you are in that moment. You have to play defense, right? You have to mirror drive. You have to be a picket fence and say, you're going to either wreck me or you're going to finish second place. Like that to me is the mentality I would have to have in that moment. And you know what? If Tyler Reddick turns down off of 4, he's just got a head of momentum and I can't lean on him down to the inside and he beats me to the line, so be it. Like I can accept that because he made a fantastic move. What I can't accept is the idea of me pulling over and giving him his best weapon. Right? I'm giving you what you most want in this scenario. I guarantee you, if they said, all right, Tyler, we're going to go into 3 and 4. What's the play? What's your best, highest percentage chance of passing him? He'd say, let me rip the top. Let me rip the fence without any obstruction. I'll get by him. He just gave it to him. And I love Ryan. Like, I really want him to win. I'd love to see him at Martinsville get this win. But that, to me, was just such a mind-boggling. Like, I just feel like they got too cute and tried to predict too much. Sometimes the obvious play is the best play, right? If you're the Chicago Bears, you don't hand the ball off to your backup center on the goal line, right? The obvious play is you just give it to your running back, right? You just take the easy play sometimes. And I hate it because I think he's much better than that kind of mistake. I'm not going to sit here and act like he sucks because of it, because that's not true. But the money's on the table, right? The box is open. The check is waiting to be filled in with your name on it. You just gave it away, bro. Just gave away the store. That was hard. So, Ryan, you get it this week. I pray you come back next week, my guy, and redeem yourself. I really would love to see it. But for this week, at least, you get my lights too bright. This might be the first time I've ever given Ryan. This might be the first time any of us have given Ryan lights too bright, actually. I feel like he's never made like a bonehead mistake. But to me, that was just egregious enough that it qualifies.
Is it boneheaded? Is it egregious? Is it?
I mean, you saw what happened.
I've watched it 26 times today.
You see how he drove
200
right
yesterday.
He drove right by like he was standing still.
I don't know. Like it's Homestead. Like I don't know if it's that easy. It's Homestead.
Look, man, he could run the top all race long when he needed to. He didn't do it on the most important set of corners.
Well, maybe he was looking at his lap times and he was quickest where he was in the middle.
But look at it this way. On the last lap, the lap times don't mean shit. You just got to block him. He's not going to phase through you. And to add one other point, because we talked about this last night, I want to make sure it's on here as well. If Tyler was, 2 car lengths back and he's coming up with a head of steam, I can see the move thinking, all right, he's going to just throw it in the corner and probably wreck, and I can just avoid him. But he's right on your bumper, dog. Like, he's right there on your hip. Like, he's not going to drive through you. And, taking personalities into account, Tyler Reddick is one of the guys least likely to dump you. Like him, he would not intentionally wreck Ryan, I don't think, to try and get, like, he's not that kind of guy. He and Blaney are, to me, like Mark Martin style drivers where, like, they're very aggressive, but they will not intentionally move you like that.
Are you sure?
Yes. What have you ever seen him do?
Thank you, Peyton. I think Chris Buescher definitely has something to say about that. 100%.
No, but intentionally moving someone, though? Intentionally trying to move a guy? I don't think he would.
You are racing for a chance at a NASCAR Cup championship. You damn right you're getting moved.
Well, you know what? And I still think I have a better shot at blocking him than pulling. It was like, oh, hey, there's a fire truck behind me. Let me get out the way and let him get on by me right quick. Because he got the speed.
As fast as was going.
He just drove right by. He looked like he had an extra 20 horsepower the way he drove by him. I just feel like that was the worst possible move because he was not close enough to him where if he hits him, like, he's not going to have enough of that speed to where I really think he was going to wreck him out. If he even did hit him, I don't think so. One, I don't think he'd hit him personally and try to wreck him. I don't think so.
Who's his team owner? What happened? What his team owner did in Pocono last season? Who fucked around and found out twice?
See, what did I say? I said because Tyler's behind him. I don't know if Denny was behind him. I absolutely think Denny would move him.
You got Michael Jeffrey Jordan in your pit box with the elephant print, with the cement print headset. And you go sit here, Arthur, on this internet and tell me you ain't gonna move somebody for a championship.
He's not gonna move
him. This killer be killed, bro.
No, he will.
When has Reddick ever been that guy?
You are racing for a championship, my brother in Christ.
Okay, I get it.
This is the last lap.
When
you are like, I can smell the exhaust off the car. You got to do something. If you're that close, you got to do something.
Look, if I'm Ryan Blaney, the last thing I'm gonna do is pull over and give the fastest car the fastest lane.
He pull over. He just wasn't fast enough.
He pulled over, dog. Come on. And I'm not saying I don't know what the logic was, but you can't tell me that if I'm going into a fight with someone, I'm just going to give you your best weapon at the most clutch time is the right decision. You can't tell me that's the right decision. Because, even if he moves you, lean back on him. Y'all can beat and bang and try to block each other, and hopefully you block Denny coming back up. But I just feel like if you block him and he comes to your bumper, you still have a chance. You still have a chance. Because you think about how many times, when was it? At Darlington, right? Denny and Larson. And Larson rode the wall and ran up into the back of Denny. Like, he didn't wreck him, but still, like, ran up into him. He still won. I think if you stay in the top line and you get hit or he cuts down, you at least give yourself an opportunity to win. But the decision that he made gave him zero chance to win. And I get it split second. I'm not trying, again, like, it's not like you're an idiot level lights too bright. Like, it's not that. But the money's on the table and you turned left and then you were a spectator. That's all I'm saying. And those are unarguable facts. Like, he drove right by him.
I don't like you act like he did like the Olay and like it was a bull ride. Like, it's
it looked like it. It looked like it.
No,
I just
you
want to know.
can't do all that to Ryan, man. Like
I just want to just tell me what would have been a better move.
The better move was what he did. He put his car in position to where he thought he would win the race.
How can you say that's the better move when it?
Because he did
the
it.
Worst? Because him making it does not make it a better move. Him making it it can't be the better move because it gave you the worst outcome.
Not necessarily, because I can probably guess as to why Ryan did that. Well, before I give that thought, let me go to the NASCAR app right quick and let me just see where things are right quick, right fast, because I didn't say I didn't give the standings for the Cup Series, but we don't care about them. So, looking at I remember this because somebody on Twitter tweeted it. The points standings didn't change between Ryan being in first and Tyler being in first. Like Denny was still 7th or still 6th and Ryan was still 7th or something along those lines. They would have stayed where they were. But you give yourself a better opportunity finishing second going into next week instead of you blocking it and dumped and finish 35th. And then you have to go be a dump truck at Martinsville.
Now
that's the lesser evil, right?
Now you just told me that we're racing for a championship. So
correct.
You can't say that we're going all in to try to win and then say I'm points racing.
Hey man,
you can't have it both ways.
All I'm saying
you can't have it both ways.
If Tyler Reddick didn't do what he did, Tyler Reddick still wins that race because he moves Ryan Blaney.
And look, if you get moved, so be it. But having contact still gives you a chance to win. That's what I'm saying, though. By pulling over, you gave yourself no chance unless you tried to fence him. And even if you fenced him, he probably still drives by you because he has that much momentum. He's that much faster than you in the corner.
He still wins that race.
You're proving my point, though. That's the wrong move. Pulling over is the wrong move.
He didn't pull over.
Okay, look, call it whatever you want. Choosing the middle line.
Me,
okay,
I wish we could. I wish I could
add. Just you want to semantics it.
I think I want to add.
Not staying to the top line is the mistake.
We're gonna add the video. Where's NASCAR's Twitter? Because I know they posted 100 times.
I mean,
we're gonna do a sing along here, and I have to get this off my.
We're acting like Ryan Blaney is Austin Hill, who doesn't ride the wall. Like he does it as much as anyone. Like it's not a matter of talent. It's just he made a bad choice. There's nothing you could possibly tell me that unless
I just watched it just now, bro. Like he didn't. You crazy, Art? He
picks the middle. He doesn't ride the wall. What are you talking about?
I'm watching it right now. I'm literally watching it right now.
Does he ride the wall? Does he take the top line or no?
Maybe his car didn't work up top.
All you have to do is block him through the corner. This isn't 10 to go. 10
Maybe
to
he
go.
burned his stuff up. Who knows? Blaney made the decision he thought was the best for him.
And he was wrong. And he was wrong. And that's why he gets lights too bright. Because in the clutchest moment of the season for him at this point in time, Martinsville withstanding, because we haven't raced it yet, at the clutch moment of the season where he could have clinched a chance to defend his title, he made the wrong call. Doesn't make him trash. Doesn't mean he sucks. He just made the wrong call.
Like even Denny ran that line. Like I don't see where it was.
Denny isn't in the lead though. There's still completely different positions. You just have to play defense through a set of corners. Speed does not matter as much at that point. Anyway, that's my super. Moving on. Peyton, go. Peyton's about to pass out waiting for us. Go ahead, Peyton.
No, man. I just wish I should. Remind me never to go behind you on this lights too bright because, man, that was fun 20 minutes. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I got distracted because I was looking up pictures of Lenny from Mice and Men, and I just can't believe that I just referred to Austin Hill as one of the characters from that. Hopefully you kids went to school and remember that book. If not, go back and read it. Spend a good week.
Would we reread of Mice and Men in the year of our Lord 2024?
So my joke hits. That's why. No, my light's too bright is nothing important, nothing thought-provoking, nothing weighty. What stands out to me is, what the hell is up with the 7 car? I feel like that car is imbued with bad spirits. Like, they need to look around that Spire Motorsports shop and just double check. Get some archaeologists in there and start digging. I think genuinely that corner of the shop where they build the 7 car might be above like a burial ground and is haunted because whoever you put in that damn car looks like the dumbest son of a bitch ever turn a wheel in the sport. Like, he spun out no less than 2 times. Like, and it's making me doubt Corey LaJoy. You know how bad that is if you make me doubt Corey LaJoy.
Facts.
I'm like, maybe it's the car. Maybe they don't know how to build a car for that 7. So yeah, lights too bright. Whoever is building those cars in that shop, because I thought Justin Haley was a talented driver, but I don't know. He wiped out, damn near killed, what was it, John Hunter Nemechek at Kansas, just swerving right for some reason. And now he decides he wants to bring out 2 cautions. Maybe it's that 7 car. Maybe Corey LaJoy. Maybe we owe Corey LaJoy a big apology. And frankly, the fact that's even had to cross my mind lets me know that the lights are not too bright or need to be brighter in that corner of the shop, because apparently they can't build them 7 cars correctly.
You might be right. You might be honest.
My lights too bright goes to Maximilian Verstappen. You're a bum. You can't drive. The way that you took the course down to Mexico, you were all outside of the lines. You failed all of the practice sims to get your development points in F124. Shame on you, tomato, tomato. Max Verstappen is my lights too bright winner. Open mic. Sorry for the dramatic pause. I didn't mean it to be that long. Open mic. Jarrett has a giveaway. Here's my giveaway. Here's how you win. I was fortunate enough to win a contest to be on Bubba Wallace's car this weekend in Martinsville. Sadly, due to unforeseen circumstances, I will not be in person to see my face on said vehicle. If you can get your picture with the car and send it to us at VLVibesPodcast on X, I will mail you a Victory Lane Vibes t-shirt. Your data and storage on your iPhone trades you fresh cotton, 100% soft. Everybody loves it. I will mail you a t-shirt personally. The first one who does it wins. Maybe the first 2. I like my face. The first 2 people who do it wins.
Do you know where on the car it is?
It's on the hood. So like it's like, somebody's you gotta be down there. I need my face. I'm hoping, shout out Xfinity Racing admin. I love you. Hopefully they put up some glamorous shots of the car when the scheme's revealed after they print it out and put it on the car. But really wish we could be there. It didn't work out this time. Please let me see my contest winning face on the Xfinity Mobile 23 Bubba Wallace car.
Yeah, that's crazy. You didn't even tell us that.
Surprise, bitches! I mean, I told you, but you forgot.
Damn, why I
paying attention to me that way?
Damn, why I gotta be a bitch? That's crazy.
Vontae, you know what? Jared, be nice.
Shut up.
There's open mic for me. P.S. We are still on for November the 10th for our post-season recap live. Please be sure to add that event to your calendars. We will be broadcasting live on Twitter, featuring some of our favorite cocktails. Bring your own libations. Peyton is excused. You can bring water. But we're going to have a post-season debrief, and we're going to give away this Bubba Wallace medal from the Bristol Dirt Race, where he had the McDonald's Dr. Pepper double scheme, the only double scheme in existence that needs to exist. None of Christopher Bell's double schemes cook like he does.
I was just gonna say, we can have some mocktails, because I will fuck up a blueberry lemonade mocktail. I have no shame in it.
I'm going full tilt. That's my birthday weekend. Jared said we drinking. I'm drinking.
Yeah, you have fun with that. I'm drinking water.
Good.
No, I lie. I'm drinking Hennessy. Huh? What you mean?
That's really, I think, of you, Bonte.
whatever. Shut up. No, you finished.
So y'all make sure that you tune in for that. What else do we have? We meant to ask about something else. I knew it was something else. That's definitely something else.
There's not.
Are we sure?
Yes.
I'm checking the notepad over here. I guess we're done. Well, appreciate y'all. Well, Peyton got some. Yeah, Peyton, what you got? What you got? Yeah.
I just want to talk about how stupid my sports life is. I'm just going to give you gentlemen and the fans listening at home, if you got a pen and pad handy, get it out. I'm going to give you some numbers here. Okay, this is an NFL football game with a NFL football team that's full of professionals. Okay, so here's the box stats. Okay, so one team collected 416 yards in total. The other team got 225 yards. So go and write that down. The same team that got 416 total yards also had 258 passing yards, and the team that had 225 total yards got 61 passing yards. Rushing yards, relatively equal. 158 yards for the team that had 416 total yards, and then 164 rushing yards for the team that got 225 total yards. And then first down, last time I'm going to give you, is 23 first downs for the team that had 416 total yards, and then 17 first downs for the team that put up 225 yards. Now, given everything that we know about how football works, what team do you think won the football game? The team
with 4 yards total.
The team that you don't support.
Exactly. How the hell did my Titans manage to put up 416 yards of offense and not just a losing effort, in a demolishment?
Got
14 to 52. What the hell are we doing?
The brakes beat off y'all. You know why you lost, Peyton? Because you lost to an efficient offense. That is a very, very efficient offense.
Like, holy crap! Like, this is a math puzzle. This is a logic puzzle. They would put this on the LSAT. This is what the hell? Like, I'm so glad I was at the movie theater instead of this. It was so much more entertaining just to come home to this riddle.
It was an easy choice for me because that's how the stats look when I beat people in NCAA. No offense, 70 points.
Can't confirm. We can confirm this is true.
Anywho, yeah, once NASCAR's done and F1's done, my Sundays are gonna be super boring because I sure as hell ain't watching this trash.
Not me.
I got watch your Vols. They're good.
They don't play on Sundays.
You can just tape it and watch it Sundays. You can just watch it back.
Good thought.
Like the boomer you are.
Well, y'all
might be a gift or a curse depending on the week.
We all have fun with your NCAA. I'm gonna join my WWE. Yes, sir. Also go Wisconsin.
Okay. Just want to thank everybody who came by the live yesterday. Appreciate y'all. I've had some first time viewers in there. Hopefully turn into first time listeners this week. Which means we're growing, and I like the growth. You may have heard us talk about it before. Really trying to record live for y'all next year. Hopefully at the 600, if we can make that plan come together. That's what I'm planning to anyway. So please continue to tell your friends. Please continue to listen, like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate every single one of you who takes the time to listen to us, banter and ranter, and share your similar thoughts and opinions, hopefully, on this sport that we love. But with that, we bid you all farewell and adieu. We will see you after Chaos at the Clip, part 2. Yeah. All right, play my music.